So we're on Emerald Coast again today. Basically every waking moment of free time that I have has been spent on the Fallow grind. It's at like 6,100 kills. I just wanted to do something different. So we're going to keep looking for the 2 diamonds that we don't yet have. Those would be Hog Deer and Rusa Deer. If you watched, was it the second to last video on Emerald Coast? We had level 5s of both of those on our map. So we'll see if we can find another one. What's going on, Bottom Boy? Mel's in here. I saw a little one here saying, not Emerald Coast. What, did you want me to go to New England? And yeah, congrats to Mel on her Great One Bear. What on earth? Out here literally slaying Great Ones lately. Just killed a Diamond Iberian Wolf. There you go. I realized this recently because I've been talking about, like, if and when we get a Great One Fallow Deer, I'm probably not going to hunt Teawaroa for like a year. I really haven't gone back to Quattro Colina as much. We've done hunts here and there since getting our Great One Red Deer, but very few. And I kind of feel like that's going to happen to Tay for me. We probably are not going to go there very often after spending so much time and effort trying to get a Great One Fallow. I just hope we actually get one after all the time we put in. I'm going to just say that guy's getting away. Does anybody know, rather than wasting time, do hog deer drink up along this part of the map? I'm thinking they should, and I want to check it out. What Great One do you want the most? Like, species-wise? I mean, let me put it this way. If I could just snap my fingers and a Great One's going to spawn, it would be a bear. Because I think that's going to be the one that would be, you know, the most difficult / annoying to grind. This is just top tier content. How? Why is that not hitting? Am I just bad? You know what? That guy deserves a lift. What's up, Dylan? Hog deer do drink along that river? Alright, that's a spot we haven't checked, so we will do that if we can find a way across. Here for the great shooting tips? Yeah, follow me for more. I'm gonna do a guide on how to kill quail out of the air with the 22. That probably makes the fact that we killed that albino out of the air at night with the 22 that much more insane, because it's not like I'm good at it. Just got lucky. Weapon switch, 10 gauge time. I thought about bringing a shotgun, but I didn't. I brought the 45, because where we're gonna go, there are some kangaroos, and I thought if we got sharked by one, that'd be kind of fun. He's aggressive. He's not even running this way. Sweetness, what's going on, man? Thank you for the 22 months. Welcome back. Hope all is going well. Things are going pretty good here. Things are going well for you too. Showing what not to do. Yeah, like I wanted to give an example of, you know, the mistakes people make, which is shooting like me. How do you grind on controller? Mel would probably have a better answer to that than I would, because she actually does it. Okay. I didn't mean to use the 45 for this, but it's happening now. The fact that we lung shot it 2 or 3 times and it's just now dropping. Just shot a leucistic Sambar hind. I had no idea they had freaking beautiful blue eyes. I'm trying to remember that leucistic, would it be stag, I guess, that I shot with you there in early access. I think it had blue eyes as well. Is that pronounced Wandre? Would that be correct? Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Would love to see Impala and the 375 H&H in Way the Hunter. So, I think, was it Michael? Maybe somebody confirmed there's going to be one additional species beyond what they announced. So I guess maybe there's hope for Impala. But we were sitting in voice chat the other day. Myself, Mel, her fiance, and Kyla, and we were talking about the Way the Hunter stuff. And I brought that same thing up, like, how do we not have Impala in any of these hunting games? They're amazing, like, they really, really are. Still a skill issue? Could be my middle name, frankly. John Dre? Okay, I tried. Got a max weight, max score croc, and my shot didn't register sitting along. Oh, that's the worst. They're kind of similar to kangaroos in a way. They're an awkward hitbox to get. Hopefully you get a chance at another one. Does anyone know if they removed initial spawn Great Ones after a certain point? I could have sworn they did, but I can't find the info anywhere. There's no, like, there was never any confirmation of anything like that happening, but basically, there were individuals in the community who were getting Great Ones by resetting their population non-stop. They weren't saying they were doing that, but it was pretty obvious that's what they were doing. And I don't mean content creators, I mean just people that were in like the, you know, the Discords and stuff. They stopped getting great ones by doing that, which led myself and a bunch of others to believe, oh, they removed the initial spawn great ones to fix that. With Moose, but especially now with Fallow, we're seeing a bunch of at least claims that like, hey, I just shot a great one Fallow, it was the initial spawn, I had it on my map already. So the question becomes then, you know, was it actually an initial spawn, or did they shoot like 2 Fallow and then it happened to be a respawn from that? You can't prove it or disprove it unless EW were to say it, but that's why the theory came out that there weren't initial spawn great ones anymore. Those who were abusing that particular thing suddenly stopped getting great ones. Loadout for today, let's grab this croc and we'll take a look. We're running with the 7mm, absolute favorite for this map. We do have the 45, which I'm hoping we get some aggressive ruse for that. Then our hog deer weapon, the 22-250, and you know, the thing we use to scare quail. We don't shoot quail with this, we just scare them. It's the 22. What's up, pizza? I'm on the toilet right now. Thanks for letting me know. I'm doing good, man. How about you? Zebra would also be cool. Oh, that would be a good one. Their big game models too are just top tier. Like everything, all the maps they've done, you go through the very beginning with the deer species, the elk, red deer, roe deer and fallow deer as well from Transylvania. And then like you've got the moose, well the Alaska moose specifically is the one I mean, the Roosevelt elk, bison on Aurora Shores, caribou as well. I would expect if they did zebras, like models would be incredible. I'd love that. Eating cheese right now, I mean, there's never a bad time to do that. Over 3,000 kills into the great one red deer grind without having a, what is that, SP? Oh, super rare or a great one? I think that was meant to be SR. Flaunted. That's a new one. What's going on, man? Did Kyla tell you about my 270 red deer? I don't think so. Not that I can recall. Is there a way to see how many of the same species you've killed? There is not. I really wish they would add, like, statistics like that. The Hunter Classic has them. But, unfortunately, Call of the Wild doesn't have, like, individual species statistics. So, when you see someone say, like, hey, I've shot, you know, in my case, 6,100 fallow on the grind. Speaking of that, I actually need to do that. They're either, like, Kyla uses an app on her phone, you just tap the screen, and it increases the counter by 1. Some people do that, some people use, like, tally marks. What I do is I count by my harvest totals. So, for instance, we look here, I've got 62,687 harvests. What I need to do is write down the amount that I started today at, which I think we have, yeah, just 2 things so far. So if we write that down, it was up to 62685. I need to write that down so I have it. That way I can subtract the Emerald Coast kills from my fallow kills. 62685. Alright. What's up, Winter Moose? Nothing good so far. Got charged by a level 7 croc that I think we shot like 12 times with the 45. Just going up through here during hog deer drink time. We haven't checked this particular area for them, so I'm hoping there's something good. We have had as initial spawns, a piebald and a troll. A level 3 sitting over there. What's up, Potato? You have not missed too much. Yeah, we're just getting going here. I love to see you playing Way the Hunter because I don't have that game and it seems more realistic. It's such a good game, man. I'm super excited for Africa. I had already planned, legitimately, before that announcement, I was going to do a Way the Hunter video this past weekend. I was just planning on doing one because I wanted to get back into it. And then they dropped the Tickamoon Plains trailer, and then obviously I had to do a Way the Hunter video. So that was really nice that I was already wanting to get back to it. But I think that's going to be probably a community favorite as far as maps go, just based on the species and stuff that's there. And there's still, as I understand it, one unannounced one. Well, that was unfortunate. Might get a crack at him depending on how he runs. Try to back in the next shot and he moved. The first magpie goose I killed was a diamond? Not bad, dude. I don't know if the first we killed was a diamond. One of the very first we spotted was. Let's try to get this guy instead. So apparently this is a good area of the map for hog deer. What have I been doing? Way the Hunter is, dare I say, better than Call of the Wild, simply with less content. it's a tough, like, thing to describe, because I'm often asked, you know, which game is better. And I think it depends on what you're looking for in a hunting game, but I don't think there is any argument. Way the Hunter is a more genuine, more realistic simulation of real-life hunting. Is that always what you want in a hunting game? Probably not. But especially if you are someone who, like, wants the challenge, wants the accurate depiction of real hunting, that's the game for you. I don't think I've ever heart shot a hog deer. Could you get a great one with only one lake? In theory, you can get a great one with only one kill, so probably yes. The thing about only grinding one lake is, I think there's a misconception out there that animals that respawn end up being in the same place as where you shot the original. That doesn't always happen. Respawns can appear elsewhere, so you could grind one lake, you could have 5,000 kills on that one lake, but you might have a great one respawn that ends up somewhere else. Hog deer are too beefy? For an animal that maxes at 50 kilo, yeah, they, I think, might be tougher even than, like, some class 4s and stuff. I've shot fallow deer with the 22-250, and I swear they go down faster than hog deer. Got a melanocytic female mule deer in Way the Hunter last night. Nice, dude. We gotta get back on Nez Perce and, like, pass some time, get our melanistic buck aged, because there's a bunch of things I want to get done before the release of Tickamoon Plains. One is the fallow deer great one, but again, I just needed a break from that. The other would be get Midnight, our melanistic mule deer buck. We got our 5-star bison now in Way the Hunter. Am I missing anything from Aurora Shores in terms of 5 stars? Kodiak, but I'm not as concerned about them. I guess we should try to age our other couple of bison out there. Pretty sure my Great One Fallow dropped faster than my Diamond Hog Deer with the 22-250. And when you compare the weights, you're looking at, what, 2.5 times bigger for the Fallow? I'm sure they have, you know, regular fallow health, if that makes sense, so 2 times bigger even. ZT Bone, thank you for the super chat, I really appreciate it. Been watching for 5 years now, and this is my first live. Well, welcome on in, man. Glad you could join us. Hopefully this will be a good one. We seem to be in this is a spot we haven't hunted yet, but we seem to be in an area that's quite good for hog deer along this kind of creek or river, whatever you want to call it, so should be good going up through this area. Total 9 legendary croc and lion yesterday, and they both trolled. They are such, lions less so, but they do troll a decent bit. Crocs are such terrible trolls. They seem to troll a lot. Angelic Crusader, thanks for the gifted membership. I really appreciate that. To the Whitetail Whisperer. Thank you, man. That's really cool of you. And if you are here in chat Whitetail Whisperer, be sure to thank Angelic Crusader and to join the Discord. Link up your YouTube, get the member roll, take advantage of that good stuff, and enjoy the emojis and green name here. Coming right back in with the renewal as well. Is that actually... I don't know how YouTube treats those, but I'm guessing that was a separate action and not the same alert going twice. Need some classic in my life right now? So I recorded a video for tomorrow. It's a little bit of a beginner's guide to competitions. I still don't know how I'm going to edit it, because I basically sat in the competition screen for like 5 minutes and explained stuff. I don't want to just, you know, sit there still, so I'll probably have to do some extra hunting yet and overlay some of that. But then the second half of the hunt is basically like, we're just going to go hunt for this competition, but equipped as a beginner. And it went pretty good. I was quite happy with it. ZT Bone, thank you for renewing your Shoesty membership as well. I certainly appreciate that. Much appreciate the support. I inherited a 357 mag lever action recently. Gonna test it out on a deer drive. Dude, that should be a good drive weapon. Things like that. Like there's basically the long rifle versions of what are kind of typically sidearm calibers, 44, 357, 38 special. I think those are cool. Never owned one myself. Are the Bantang tracks and droppings bugged because they show up as the same as the Sambar tracks? I don't know if they're bugged or if they just used the same you know, elements. There's a different word that I want. Use the same stuff for them, but they should have used the bison or water buffalo ones. Like, I don't know that they needed them to be something else, so I'm guessing it's a bug, but it's hard to say. I know we talked about initial spawn great ones and not knowing whether or not they exist, but I can't help but check when I get a fallow great one. Fallow great one? I want to get a fallow warning call. I'd like to get a fallow great one. That'd be cool. Still no hog deer hard shot. It's not possible. Probably is with like a 243. One of the best hotspots to hunt for bantang. So if you hunt their drink time, I think it's this lake is pretty good. I thought it was this one down here in the bottom right was decent. But then really, the best area is along the coast. Like, you just run this beach all the way up, you're gonna stumble into herds of bantang. Now, crocs are gonna spook them, so you gotta keep your eye out. They'll probably spook from a distance, but as long as you can spot them, they're not at all difficult to track. They run so slow. So if there's a level 5 or a rare or something you see, you can follow it. And the good news is they're gonna flee away from that croc and not get spooked again. David, thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. The support is very much appreciated. What great one species are there? So there's 5 total. White-tailed deer, red deer, black bear, moose, and fallow deer. Targeting flatheads on the river on Saturday? There you go. What is like, I don't know the best time of year specifically for catfish. Like, I know, at least here, the best time of year to go for trout, the best time of year for bass, panfish. I've never known, like, is there a best part of the year to fish for catfish? I just kind of catch them sometimes when I'm fishing for other stuff. Got my first diamond. It scored 283. What sort of diamond scores 283? I'm trying to figure out what species that might have been. Either way, congrats, man. Favorite fish to catch? It used to be bass. I used to really enjoy bass fishing, but especially since I got into fly fishing, it's trout. Now, bass on a fly rod I think would be really cool. That's something I've been wanting to do this summer. I just haven't gotten out to do it. But it's really cool, you know, just fishing a small creek or something, especially natives, but it ain't a bad thing to catch like a bigger stock trout, and there's wild ones that are good size too, but your best chance, I guess, at catching a big one is the stock trout. Either way, you know, water that's even narrower than what we'd be looking at here in game, and then pulling good sized fish out of there on fly rod, that's my absolute favorite thing to do. The cats just got out of spawn, so they're hungry now? Kind of similar to bass then. Because bass are like June spawn, I guess. Walleye the best fish? Walleye taste incredible. I've never caught a walleye. I've told the story on stream many times, but we went to the Allegheny Reservoir, I don't know, 10 years ago for a camping trip. And, long story short, for that reservoir is used for like flood control. And this particular time, they had closed everything off so the water levels were going to rise. And it was pouring rain. So, like, we had to move our camp every day. The water was coming up, you know, dozens of feet. And by the time, my cousins were there like 3 days earlier than us, and they caught a bunch of walleye and stuff. By the time we were there, you had to go like 100 feet out into the water. Like, everything was super shallow. You know, you were going through water that's this deep for like 100 feet, and then you finally got to the actual bank where it dropped off. So we weren't even, when we were casting, we weren't even reaching fish. However, my cousin caught quite a few walleye and made a beer battered walleye thing over the fire. It may have been because I was starving and also like drenched from all the rain, but I don't think I've ever eaten anything that good. What was that? I guess just the doe. It looked like it had really big antlers, but it couldn't have. They should add bush buck to the game. I only have like a slight understanding of what they are, but I mean, I'm all for new species. Did any of you try bear meat? I don't think I ever have. I've heard it's good. I certainly would be willing to try bear meat. Especially, I gotta imagine, like, you know, a bear that's living on ag land would be really good stuff. It's a whitetail. Whitetail diamonds shouldn't be able to score that high. Are you ready for Africa and Way the Hunter? I'm ready in the sense that I can't wait to hunt it. I'm not ready in the sense that I want to have my Great One fallow, and I want to shoot that melanistic mule deer buck on our Nez Perce map first. Angelic, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Dinner for Kyle and yourselves on me tonight? Well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. That will go straight to dinner. Thank you. What state you in with all this fish? Pennsylvania. Not known for the best fishing, but there is some really good fishing in this state. Between, like, you know, the stock trout, and then we have a lot of rivers with bass and stuff. Most of the bass that I've caught in the last, like, 10 years are in farm ponds and, like, ponds on sportsman's clubs and things such as that. But, especially when I was younger, there was I forget the name of the creek already. It's like an hour and a half south of here. We had a camp down there, and it had, it ran into or out of the Juniata. That's a much bigger river in PA. Anyway, there were like rock bass, fall fish, which I don't think that's the actual name of them, but they're just a monster species of minnow. They get like 12, 14 inches long, the big ones. Some panfish and stuff, but my favorite, like rock bass in creeks, as far as moving water bass, they're my favorite. They're such a cool fish. Rainbow trout aren't even native to North America, which is crazy, and yet, like, if you fish in PA in any stocked water, the most fish you're going to catch are probably going to be rainbows. You fish the Susquehanna when you come home, there you go. I have not fished the Susquehanna for a year or two. Last time I did, it was the first day of trout season. My brother and I went, we got up at like 5 a.m., drove 2 hours north, and this place that we went to was just packed. I mean, so many people, fish weren't biting, so we just said, okay, there's no point staying here shoulder to shoulder with everybody. So what we did was we drove all the way home, fished a couple of creeks on our way, didn't catch nothing, and we ended up in this part of the Susquehanna that's not even stocked, so we could have fished it any day of the year. It didn't have to be in trout season, but we caught a couple of wild trout. That's a leucistic, isn't it? That was something. Not a big one. I don't think he's common, though. Your brother caught an 8-pound largemouth? That's a big fish. Like twice as big as my personal best. Love trout fishing in the snow. What are we stuck on? I don't think I've ever done that. That'd be cool. That's the does. I was hoping he would just end up stopping. I probably shouldn't have spotted the does either, but I want to watch where they go because they should go the same direction as him. Rusistic, there you go. Furthest shot in Way the Hunter. Furthest shot that resulted in me claiming the animal? I think 982 yards. I've hit animals over 1,000, but I haven't recovered them. Ever caught any pike or muskie? Not me personally. We stayed down at Deep Creek, Maryland for, I don't know, 3 days one time. And we knew there were pike in there. So, you know, we brought the, is it Daredevil lures? Like the spoon lures, the red and white? I think it's Daredevil. My dad had a couple of those from fishing for pike, who knows, 30 years earlier or something. And my brother did catch a pike. It was like a 16-inch, you know, not a big pike, but an okay one. So I've got to be a part of it. I've never caught one. Wish we had smallmouth down here. They are cool as well. Big fan of smallmouth. That is a leucistic. Nice. It's got that Rebentili quality to it. Emerald Coast does. If you keep on hunting and keep on checking out different places, it just seems to have a tendency to have something good waiting on the map. When's the next IRL hunting video? I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but I do need to get that done. Because I have a bunch to do yet. I was going to do the turkey season video, which is still going to be a big sad, because I've told that story 100 times, but ended up whiffing on a nice long beard. And then there's got to be three minimum, probably more like 5 rifle season videos yet. A 3-pound... What now, Graham? I don't even know what that is. Got a Diamond Wolf scoring .04 above Diamond. Not bad. Opinion on Cabela's Big Game Hunter 2008. I don't know if I know the specific game. I know 2009. No, 2009 was Dangerous Hunts. I probably played it, but I can't remember which one it was. Is Emerald Coast a good place to grind fallow? You can be pretty effective grinding on Emerald Coast. I would say that Te Awaroa is far better, but like Emerald Coast is a good fallow map. There he is. If he stays semi-broadside, we may try the shot from out here, but I'm hoping he just stops. Because that's not a good angle. Favorite animal to hunt? One of my favorites actually is gray wolves. Like, one of my absolute favorite things to do if I have no specific goal in mind is to go to Yukon Valley and just run around in wolf territory. And really, I prefer if they find me. Just have the entire pack go aggressive. I just think it's really, really fun. Alright, surely he's going to slow down pretty soon. Even if he does that kind of pause thing they do. Though at the range he's at, that's risky as well. I've never seen anything run so far at such a low level. Oh, figures. Okay, can we get enough of a view? I think right through here we probably can. Okay, that's got him alert. Gonna be an awkward shot. That should do. He was pretty far away, so that high shot should drop into a lung. What's up, JC? Do you use the Argus scope still? Sometimes, like, if I'm just kind of playing casually, not recording, I'll use the Argus scope. I still prefer it. The reason you don't see me use the Argus scope in videos anymore is it sort of has a tendency to jitter when you're moving it around. That just doesn't look as good in videos. So even though I prefer the zoom of the Argus, for the sake of not having that jitteriness like in every video ever, I just stopped using it. Would you ever do a classic stream on YouTube again? I think so. What typically happens if I stream classic on YouTube is everybody asks me when I'm playing Call of the Wild next, or like why I quit Call of the Wild, which I always do enjoy. 1 minute away from Call of the Wild, and then apparently I've quit. However, I think if they release like new content or something again, that would be cool. The last time that I remember doing a classic stream on YouTube was when they released Lynx. And what actually happened was we ended up killing a huge reindeer, a 600 plus, which at the time, there was a scoring bug, so for it to score that high was like really rare. Awkward shot, good thing I'm awkward. I ought to make that a t-shirt, to be honest. Do you play Rocket League? It's been more than 3 years since I've played, but I used to. Reinhardt, thank you for the 20 months, by the way. I don't know if that alert's going to come through. Got a 14.12 Fox and Emerald Coast. Wow, Fallow grinded. Nice, dude. I'm telling you, he's going to lead you to the great one. Red Foxes with 12 in their score leads you to good things. Not exactly a big male. That's pretty eyelashes. Mel mentioned the nice blue eyes on a, what was it, leucistic Sambar hind? This guy kind of has them too. Not bad. Right through top of the lungs, 80 score. So a whole 30 shy of gold, but first rare Rusa deer. We will take that. And I suppose we'll keep on hunting some of the hog deer spots. Make sure I tax that. Alright. Where else are hog deer? So there are all these little lakes. We might run through this chunk of the river again. It just seems like it's the better way to do it. Can't wait for Tickamoon Plains. I'm super excited for that. I was mentioning earlier that like there's a couple of things I want to get done both in Way the Hunter and Call of the Wild before it comes out so I can really sink some time into it. I guess maybe when they... Oh, that's my old tent design. Anyway. Maybe when they, like, announce the release date I'll be able to buckle down and really put in the time to get those things. Diamond Fallow 249.99. I don't know why they do that .99 thing, but it is what it is. Got trolled by level 9 Red Fox and Emerald Coast. It feels like a lot of Diamond Foxes are coming off this map, but much like everything else, they can still troll. Greater Kudu is going to be my favorite. I can't believe they're adding them. Somebody brought it up. It must have been the Twitch stream right after. Because, yeah. The video was Friday morning. So then, in that Twitch stream, we played Way the Hunter, and somebody mentioned it, like, I can't believe Way the Hunter is going to do it before Call of the Wild. And it is quite the big oof that they, like, announced, seemingly inadvertently last year, that Greater Kudu were being added to Virunga Savannah, and then that didn't happen. And now Way the Hunter is going to get them. Ooh, just got trolled by a Fallow 230. That is a low troll score. How do I link my YouTube with Discord? If you're in my Discord server, the info section right at the top there has step-by-step instructions of what to do. What does trolling mean in this game? Okay, so generally speaking, animals that make diamond, the highest rating outside of the 5 species that can be great ones, and we're going to set great ones aside for a minute. Diamond is the highest rating you can get for an animal. To get that, you generally need that animal to be the highest possible level for the species. So, most deer species go to a maximum of level 5. Most predator species go to a maximum of level 9. And then you've got, like, small game that maxes at level 3. There's exceptions to, like, all of these things. But as a general rule, that's the way that it works. If you were to shoot a, since we're on this map, a level 5 hog deer, you could expect that would make diamond. If you shoot a level 5 hog deer that's a gold, that's a troll. That was such a letdown last year, yet I'll never forget it. Like, I was in Tennessee, like I was on a hunt in Tennessee when they announced all this stuff, and I wasn't even watching the stream. Like, I can't remember if I was getting ready for a hunt or what I was doing. I remember, like, I was moving around doing something, and Kyla texted me and, like, I think it was all caps, Greater Kudu on Virunga or something. I was like, what? And then not long after that, it's confirmed that was actually not happening, and just, I still don't know what, I think Jaxy said there was another list. So it was interesting, like, that didn't come out of nowhere. They thought about doing it or something like that, or that wouldn't have even been like a slip up. I really wish they'd have done it. That's one way to drop a hog deer. Now the way the hunter has Greater Kudu, I'm sure we're going to get Greater Kudu in Call of the Wild. No matter if it's Africa 2.0 or just add it to Virunga. I mean, that could be. I think I've asked this before, but I don't remember the answer. Do Greater and Lesser Kudu live in the same area? Or is it like a reindeer caribou thing, where it's the same species, but like their size and appearance and stuff depends on where they live in the world? Small. Have you compared the 223 versus 2250? I did the slight comparison on the hog deer and found out that it seems the 22-250 is a little bit better. I haven't compared, like, down to, you know, try to get the shots down to, like, exactly the same distance and all that stuff. Osmosis, thank you for the super chat. Do you know the odds of getting an albino diamond lion? Because I got one in February or March earlier this year. I mean, I don't know the exact odds, because that's against CW terms of service to, like, you know, look into that information. So that information isn't out there, at least not legitimately. I know there have been people that have tried to find that stuff. However, I would say extremely rare. So do you think Africa 2.0 will be the next map? I mean, it was before Emerald Coast came out, so maybe. But one of the last things we heard regarding Africa from EW was Jaxy saying if they did Africa 2.0, they'd be in this position like where, how do we top that map? Which leads me to believe they're probably not going to do it. At least not yet. I would love to see baboons in Piranga. See, this is one of those things where I'm going back years and I could be misremembering, but I seem to recall somebody said like some of the ambient sounds you hear on Piranga Savannah are actually baboon sounds. So it would make sense. Favorite map and trophy on Way the Hunter? Nez Perce is my favorite map. As much as I love Aurora Shores, the size of Nez Perce, and of course it's the same reason I love Layton. They're in very similar areas. They have very similar species. That just, in all 3 hunting games that I mainly play, Way the Hunter Classic, the Hunter Call of the Wild, like the North America map with the most big game becomes my favorite species. My favorite map. And for me, that's Nez Perce. Favorite trophy, like that we've shot? I mean, it's Showstopper, our albino whitetail. It was so cool as well. Like, the community really got behind that one. And I was so sick when all that was going on too, but we still got to shoot him with a crossbow and it's still so much fun. What's up, winners? Thank you for the 28 months. Welcome back. Hunt's going pretty good. We killed a leucistic Rusa deer earlier, so that was unexpected. And now we're just cruising through hog deer territory. I don't know whether to hunt Rusa deer in their drink zones yet tonight. Tonight meaning in game. I guess tonight, this evening, real time. I just don't like streaming at night. It's not great for the viewing experience. So we'll see. What's up, Kermit? Hope you find the biggest of males. Why, thank you. How many fallow kills are you in your grind? 6,100, somewhere in there. That's why I'm not grinding fallow today. I've put so much time into it, and I wanted a break. We'll get back to it though. Probably, unless I do Way the Hunter Friday, probably the next, let's just say this way. The next Call of the Wild stream will probably be fallow deer, unless we do get a great one before that. What can top Emerald Coast in your opinion? That's a good question. I think a Greenland map could do it. Something with, like, big game that's somewhat unlike anything we've seen before. Because as much as, like, I know some of you guys in the chat probably prefer to hunt small game, and I'm not trying to say, like, you know, add a map with no small game, because I love Reventuli Coast, and I would say it's, you know, the best small game map in the game. But something like muskox, they'd be so unique in Call of the Wild, that could be your kind of star of the show. And then you could do Arctic Fox, you could do Arctic Wolves, Snowshoe Hare, some type of ptarmigan or grouse could fit there. And then also, what I'd love for them to do if they did it, another type of caribou, because I think these would be barren ground caribou that would be different than what's on Yukon Valley. And for me, I think they should make that a great one. Imagine a great one caribou. Like, you cannot mess that up. Just make it as big as you possibly can and then go like 10% bigger than that. They could be amazing. Do you have a moose great one? I do not. I wish I did. They're really, really cool. Think Call of the Wild should add more great one racks for whitetail? That are some unique furs. That said, I don't want to go back and grind for another whitetail, so I probably wouldn't, you know, whether they added new racks or new furs, I probably wouldn't go after them anyway. But I do think, as much as, like, great ones kind of revolutionized the game and how people play it, and whitetail were the first great ones, so they were kind of responsible for that. When you look at the other great ones that we have now, the moose, the fallow deer especially, there's these combinations of racks and furs that really make more of them unique, which I think whitetail would benefit from a lot. What's up, Bryce? How rare is it for an animal to be max score but not max weight? For me, that's more common than an animal being max weight and max score. I don't know why, but we kill a bunch of max weight animals that are not max score. Very few that are both. What you doing? It's using double team. It's a Pokemon. I get it. Ow. I can't remember the stat. What stat does double team raise? Agility or something. Strugs for Great One Blackbirds are real, that is for sure. Woodland caribou should be added to Aurora Shores. They're bigger, most of them, and look cooler. Yeah, Barren Ground doesn't actually make the most sense for that location. It probably should be Woodlands, but I like them. Quick, add it to the clip channel. Evasiveness? Is that it? I thought it was agility. Or was agility speed? I don't remember. I haven't played the game in 12 years. I think it is evasiveness. They should add tagged ducks and geese. I think that'd be a cool rare. There has been conversation about, like, should... Banded is the right word, right? Should banded ducks or geese be like a Great One duck? And I don't think they quite generate the level of mystique that a Great One needs to have, but as a rare, definitely. I have every Great One in my lodge, just don't fact check that it's there. I believe it. It is evasion, okay. Another minimum weight fallow, holy. Diamond Drill is my new favorite location with the hunter. I finally bought it after 80 plus hours and 300 plus kills. It's, I mean, I'll say the average genetics in that area are nuts, especially when you first go there. What is with all these does? We'll make it most of the way up before their drink time ends. I've hunted ducks IRL for 10 years and have never seen a band. That'd be interesting to know, like, what is the typical rate? Like, as a percentage of the population, it must be astronomically low. But you would also think, to a degree, there's probably areas that have way more banded ducks because maybe that's a home range or something they return to often. The location where the banding is done. The way the kangaroos attack's the greatest thing about this map. I love the kangaroo animations. They've got so many too, like there's almost a flailing punch type of animation. There's the rock back on the tail and kick. There's more of a, like a steady punch. Does that make sense? Like the flailing punch is just both arms kind of just flail at you. What should be the next great one? So Jaxy said on EW stream quite some time ago, something to the effect of, they're not going to stick with the base game Great One thing for that much longer. So I read that as we're getting at least one more base game Great One. If that's the case, I think Roosevelt elk are the best candidate, but wild boar could be cool, roe deer could be cool, blacktail, I'm still a huge proponent of the bench leg idea. But I think from their perspective, Roosevelt make the most sense. Great One Croc would be terrifying in a mechanic where it can swallow you. If the Great One Croc kills you, it despawns. That would make people mad. I went AFK for 2 seconds. Just got my license and parents bought me an 01 Ford Ranger. There you go. Get you back into those big mail areas. I finally bought my deer license yesterday. Speaking of that, I was only 2 weeks late. Roosevelt elk need Jesus. They're better than they used to be. Bench leg. So a bench leg is a mule deer and blacktail hybrid. I believe they're primarily out like in California area. They get really big. Like, I think it's perfectly reasonable to make a Great One blacktail that gets like as big as mule deer. And then what you could do with that is actually add both Great One blacktail and Great One mule deer simultaneously. So you could have, say, 6 different variations. A blacktail or a mule deer could spawn as all 6. And it would kind of be the same thing, but you can hunt for them as a base game player, you know, only on lane lakes, let's say, if you only own the base game. Or you could go to SRP or Rancho or wherever you want to go for mule deer. I personally think they should do, like, say, 3 variations that are the hybrid, and then, like, say, 2 that are just Great One blacktail, 2 that are just Great One mule deer, but I know I'm probably complicating the devs' lives if they ever actually had to then make that. What's up, Brad? Just came back from an 8-hour shift. Thanks for the nice stream. My pleasure. Hopefully work went well. Alright. I'm going to say we're going to go and hunt somewhere and something else, because these are not big males. You, Kyle, and Mel should be the new Great One creators. I say Mel makes the designs, and I just come up with theories, because I'm not creative enough to like come up with the furs and stuff. Like, I have this whole bench leg thing in my head, but I don't have a clue what any of them should actually look like. Fabled Dilute, though? That's an option. Blacktail with the OG rack? So literally, I've said this before, but one of those Great One bench leg racks, if we really flesh this out, I think should be the OG rack. Take that and maybe even add like a couple of stickers or something to it, just to, really make it stand out. But everybody loves the old Blacktail racks. It would be amazing if they worked their way back into the game, even in just like a similar form. Got my first time in a Red Deer grind, 121 kills in. That's not too bad. I know with Black Bear I went 400 kills without anything before I, got a trophy, and it was just a rare. Just a rare. The rare bears are very cool. Huge. Huge male. There's a hard shot. Nice. We should make Great One concepts one day. Do it. I don't know if any Great One concepts that have been like posted in EW's Discord have ever been really used. They must see them though. That gun sound, honestly, like the rechambering of another round might be my preferred sound even over the actual gunshot. Where did this other guy go? Shouldn't have gone that much farther. Maybe he crossed? Yep, there he is. Is blonde diamond black bear rare? Depends on when you shot it. If you shot it after, let me think. After June of 2022? Does that sound right? I think. Everything's merging together for me in my head time-wise, but I'm pretty sure that was like when they changed the rarity of the color variants. Sound makes me want to shoot, to be honest. I was talking to my dad yesterday. We were sitting out on the porch just watching deer walk through the cornfield and stuff. And I was somewhat remembering that I need to get more 7mm Mod 8 ammo for my rifle. And that made me think that I should get just like a 22 or something just for plinking around in the summer. Like, I used to do that. I had a 177 caliber pellet gun to distinguish from 17 HMR. And I used to like pop cans, jugs, birds. When I was like 14 years old, I did a ton of that. And I do attribute that to like, what shooting skill I do have. And I don't want to sound like I'm bragging or whatever, but I think it would be a good idea to have just a little plinking gun again. Because last year I went to buy more ammo for my hunting rifle and I couldn't find it anywhere. New free map? Be a good idea. I don't know that they would do it, but I think it would be a good idea. Don't think we've checked here for hog deer. We probably should. There'll be rooster deer up here too, so that could kind of kill two birds with one stone. Dad got me a 22 for Christmas a few years back, and I love popping that thing. Iron sights only. There you go. You do the same thing. It's a really good, like practice thing. Even if it's not using the exact rifle that weighs the exact same and has the same recoil and all that. Just being used to, aligning your crosshairs, if you have a scope on it, aligning your crosshairs on the animal or the target, squeezing out the shot, not, I can't think of the word, not, missing it. What is that called? Somebody save me. The thing where you move as you shoot. Like twitching or something. There's a word for it. What is wrong with me? Flinching. Thank you. Goodness gracious. just getting used to doing that, and actually with a small gun that doesn't have recoil, it trains you just to not flinch. Thank God you guys are here. I sound like a real idiot. You shot a 267 Fallow? Nice, dude. Man, I shot a... Last night I was Fallow grinding. 269.72 white variation. I so wish he was 270 plus, but he was broadside to me, so I didn't realize he was huge. I didn't even record it. Yeah, it really is bottom boy. Like, it's such different techniques. I think practicing archery probably has some correlation with shooting a gun, like as far as at least getting used to coming to rest on the target with the pin or the crosshairs, and then, you know, timing of your shot, but most everything else is completely different. The big rack fallows are tricky after the update. Yeah, if you don't see them like front on, I think they're tough to really tell the difference. Like, most are right around, same as they used to be, 262 to 265. The really big ones are just a little wider set, and I think they're a little taller. But it's not nearly as obvious. Like before, a 270 was usually especially notably wide. You could pretty easily pick that out. That's not the gun I wanted, but okay. Smoked him, whatever we did. Can female Bantang make gold? I don't think so, but I haven't shot... I actually don't know if I've shot any female Bantang. They should add a Great One Black Wolf. Great One Wolves, that's another one that we're... I feel like overlooking often as a community. That could be a really good one. What's up, Space Cowboy? The mental aspect, for sure, the muscle memory is where it differs. My hand rests like 3 inches different between a gun stock versus a release. Yeah, that's definitely true. And, like, the more of it that becomes muscle memory, and the less thinking you do on anything, but there's those... I know, like, I watch a good bit of Paul Harrell, and he's like he was a marksman instructor for a while. I forget what it is. It's sight picture, trigger control... something. Like, if you go to a shooting class, they have these things. I never, you know, went to a shooting class. I just learned to shoot by, you know, shooting birds and stuff when I was little. But, for me, it's all focus. And if there's any aspect of like, oh god, I didn't practice, oh god, last time I shot I was 4 inches high, I'm gonna miss. I just am. It has to be full confidence, full focus. And if that's the case, for me at least, I find that I don't have any problems. If there's the slightest hesitation, and I think that's what happened with the turkey that I was talking about earlier, I had a little bit of like uncertainty with my shot, whiffed it. Oh, breath is, sight, what is it, target picture, sight, trigger control, stance. That's the one that Paul Carroll? What is wrong with me? So, I gotta go to bed. Paul Harrell, I can't even speak English, let alone come up with terms like flinching. What's up, Sebastian? Do you know what trap is? Like, skeet shooting, trap shooting? I think the next great one will be Wild Boar, because every great one they have done has been on another map. Has it been on multiple maps? Yeah, that's a very good point. Roe deer would fit that bill. Who get me a membership? I'm not even 100% sure that was today. I know there was a gift of membership, but I didn't think it was to you today. Actually, at least the one I'm thinking of wasn't. It could have been Beef Fries last week. I think he did gift 5. I hope there's something here. If there's no hog deer here, if we run all this way, at least we should shoot Bantang or something. I put a Bantang in the thumbnail. Maybe we should kill a Bantang. Nothing out of this time. I think, too, when I've hunted Bantang in the evening, I find them feeding and stuff more. So it'd be kind of nice if they were here. Should try Insurgency's Sandstorm. I knew some people that played that. I've never messed with it, but I recognize the name of the game. Stop clickbaiting me. It's the only reason I'm here. I specifically wanted you to be here. Because I'm going to shoot an albino Bantang. Nah, probably not. I feel like Roadie are forgotten they were one of my favorites to hunt in Classic. Yeah, and since they got the true racks, I think they're a lot better than they used to be. Like, the Legacy Rack roe deer. Personally, I just don't feel they were good enough. Like, the diamonds weren't that impressive. Like, your average roe deer, like gold and stuff, were frankly kind of pathetic. Now with true racks, they're pretty good. They could be better. You look at some of the roe deer in Way the Hunter. I think that's what Call of the Wild should have strived for, but it's night and day just what they used to be and what they are now. Alright, good. There's at least hog deer in existence in this area. Hopefully a male. Because it ain't looking so good at that zone. The animals spook faster for you. It's faster than they used to a little bit, yeah. Like, from the time they hear a gunshot to the time they flee is sped up, I feel. I feel like albino stubble quail aren't as rare as they were hyped up to be. See, the question is, were they, like, hyped up, or did the community take it that way? Because Beard said something to the effect of, on that stream where they showed off a bunch of the rares, something like this may be the only time a bunch of you are going to see it. I took that to mean they're going to be the same as bobwhite quail, and the albinos would be insanely rare. That might not have been how he meant it, but that was the way that I understood it. I don't know how to properly explain the correlation, but the Great One Boom has made me love rares so much more than I previously viewed them. I'm also trying to come up with how to explain it, because I think I have a little bit of that same thing, like an appreciation for some of the rares and stuff. It might just be the focus has so generally shifted to Great Ones and Great One grinding that your average hunt for a rare that is successful maybe isn't thought of as highly. Oh good. One big male. Two shots from the 7mm, didn't even care. Maybe they all just look better? See, that could be. New ones do look better. Got your Fallow Great One after 480 kills. Nice, dude. Do you like the neck down 7mm on 8 compared to the 308? So I've never shot a 308. Just not a gun that my dad ever owned or anybody that I knew ever owned, so I never had an opportunity to use one. My biggest reasoning for going with the 7mm on 8 was basically twofold. My brother and my dad both use variations of the 7mm. My dad has a 7mm Magnum. My brother shoots, oh, what is it called? A 7mm Express, also known as a 280 mountain rifle. That's another name for the same gun. And I've just seen, like, how quickly even some subpar shots have taken down deer with those guns. So that was one reason I went with the Odd 8. The other was, that was a gun that my dad always wanted for years. So I was just like, I'll get one and see how I like it. And what I will say, despite the fact that I don't have a proper comparison to the 308, in my experience, I've shot 5 deer with it, and Kyla shot one with it. We haven't tracked any of them yet. And all 5 of the ones I've shot were hard shots. Thoughts about deer hunting with the 243? 243 is a great deer caliber. That was what I shot my first buck with, and also my second deer. I think by the time I shot my third deer, I was using a 30-30. And the only reason for that was, like, I started hunting on my own at 13. So my dad would still take my brother. They had the 243, the youth gun that we owned. And I started carrying a 30-30. My brother also shot his first couple with a 243. I'm trying to think what... Oh, my sister shot her deer with a crossbow. But as far as, you know, everything I've seen the 243 do with deer, it's more than capable enough to take one down quickly and ethically. I would say, you know, if I were gonna buy a gun for a new hunter, 243 would be something I'd very strongly consider. Let's go see if there's any drinking down here. Then we'll go to that deer hotspot. What's up, Riley? Dropped 3 of my 4 deer with the 308 Winchester. Love that caliber. I'm a late bloomer when it comes to hunting. That's fair enough. I think a lot of deer calibers are sometimes like perceived as being overpowered, and maybe they are relative to other calibers, but for me, like if it drops a deer instantly, like one of the things I'm most proud of with my big buck, the 180 that I shot in 2021, is that he dropped, and like I swear he maybe never even felt it. He kicked like twice and was dead. There's a big thing about, like, when it comes to trophy animals and stuff, like a respect thing for me. It's why I kind of searched high and low for the right taxidermist to take it to, because I wanted to make sure that, you know, it would look good on the wall and stuff for many, many years. The other side of that is like not having the thing suffer. So if it has to be a little bit overpowered, but it's dead basically instantaneously, if I lose a pound of meat, I'll trade off the slight meat loss for making sure it's as ethical a kill as possible. Dad's first deer gun was a 30-06, so we've never had a 30-06 either. The reason for that is, and this is a direct quote from my dad, he didn't have a 30-06 because that's what everybody else had. And I was always like, okay, there might be a reason everybody else has that. But, like I said, he used the 7mm Magnum. He's had no problems. Now, my brother, and I all have versions of 7mm, so despite the fact that they aren't what everybody else has, they do get the job done. Some people use 22-250 on deer due to light recoil. That or 25-06. 25-06 has become a pretty good light recoil caliber as well, and frankly, a 243 is light recoil. Best gun in the Hunter Call of the Wild, it depends on what you're hunting. One of the most well-rounded guns in the game is the 7mm bolt action, or if you don't want to purchase the Hunter Power Pack DLC, just the 7mm break from the base game. But if you're after bigger game, I think the 300 is about as good as it gets. Love the 30-06 versatile as far as big game versatility, the 30-06 is one of the best, at least for like North American big game. And frankly, if it's one of the best for North American big game, outside of maybe African big game, because your Cape Buffalo and elephants and stuff of that size, you want something a little bit bigger. But pretty much anywhere else, 30-06 could be, I won't say would be, but at least could be all you'd ever need. I've taken 2 of the 25-06 now and didn't have to track either of them. 117 grain federal factory ammo, working on some 100 grain hand loads, nice. I will say I have 140 grain boat tails. I can't remember exactly how much charge they're loaded with. They're a pretty hot round, but I guess if I were to hand load, I'd probably go a little lighter. But again, like, it has such a devastating effect that drops them. The only deer that didn't drop for me was, I've had a couple run a little bit, but they've dropped in sight. The only one that didn't drop in sight, I still didn't have to track it because I got down and saw where it was laying. I shot it like 15 yards. It was kind of amazing that it didn't drop because I shot through the heart, but some deer with adrenaline stuff. Because what had happened that day, and I can't remember if I talked about this in the video or not, because of course it's on film. This is from this past season. I was driving up to my parents to hunt. It was the third to last day of the season, I think. Pretty sure, yeah, it was Thursday night. The last day was Saturday. And I just happened to see a car parked at the end of the lane. I was like, oh, the neighbors are in hunting. They own like this 30-acre chunk that borders our property, and I think they're from Philadelphia. Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. It's one of the bigger cities here in PA. So I just thought about it a minute, and I figured they're going to drive this property if they're here today. I'm just going to go hunt up on top here where I think they're going to get driven to. See if I can catch anything from the drive coming my way. I wasn't there for 20 minutes, and here comes the doe and 2 fawns. So the doe ended up giving me a shot, like I said, it just, like, not even 15 yards, probably 10 yards. And she ran 25 yards and dropped with that heart shot, but I imagine part of why she ran at all was the adrenaline already from being spooked out of her bed from the other people. Going to PA this weekend. Nice. What you going for? You got your great one? I do not have such a great one. We're just taking a break from the fallow. I'm at 6,100 now. Basically every bit of free time I've had. When did the map come out? Or when did the great one fallow come out? Like 3 weeks ago? Every bit of free time has gone into fallow grinding. I just wanted to do something a little different. I have a Ruger Mini 30 and love shooting the 7.62 by 39. Perfect power for deer, but it's just fun to shoot in general. I don't know a whole lot about that particular caliber, but from what I do know, that would be a good round of choice, especially like you said, even just for shooting. Just got back from Nationals in Michigan for shooting trap. Plays 51st out of the whole nation / US. That's awesome, man. Congrats. Have you ever entered the PA lottery for elk? I haven't entered it, but I've been getting preference points for a couple of years here now. I think I've got 2 for each. 2 archery, 2 rifle, 2 late elk preference points. Archery, in probably 2 years, I'm going to start actually, like, applying for. Like, actually trying to get the tag. Gun, I'm going to wait longer. Because archery gets less applicants, I think. So I think with just a couple of points, I'd have a chance of being drawn. Do many great ones get found from just randomly wandering around the maps? That's a tough question to answer. I'm going to say yes. That's a good sandbar. I would say like a lot of great ones have been found that way, but comparatively no. Like compared to the total amount of great ones that are shot, grinding versus just like randomly hunting, that's an okay one. The grinds make up the vast majority of the great one kills. That guy might crack 100. He's close. He's no diamond. Definitely needs longer beams, but one of the better ones we've seen. Do you mind, sir? You gonna face that way? See, I don't want to end up being wrong and it is a diamond, because his estimate's just high enough. Just get the spin back around. How rare is a super rare albino Rio Grande turkey? I think they're really, really rare. I've only killed 1 albino Rio Grande. Like, they came out, the Rios did, at a time where I think the air quote rare Merriams were still very common. Like, you'd run into albino, leucistic, even melanistic Merriam turkeys relatively often, and they've since changed that. The Rios are not that way. Also got some scholarships from it. Dude, that's awesome, man. I have a 270 I typically use for coyotes, and while I was sitting in the woods by my parents' house, I found out one of the whitetail out there had an albino fawn this year. There you go. That was another topic of conversation my dad and I were having last night. We were talking about, like, we had 1 piebald on the farm ever, and then there's been a few albinos over the years, and we were just, you know, reminiscing about when the piebald was there, and he and my brother both had decided they weren't going to shoot the piebald. It was a doe. Because they didn't, it goes back to that respect thing I was talking about earlier with like shooting a big buck or whatever. They didn't want to, you know, shoot something they'd have to pay $2,000 to get like a full body mount, which fair enough. That was something I was willing to do. So I was attempting to target it, not because, like, this is where it gets tough. I didn't want to shoot, like, I would have preferred to let it get 6, 7 years old before I ever bothered targeting it, but I knew eventually someone would shoot it, and eventually someone did. So for me, it was like, well, I know if I get it, it's going to be full body mounted and look good. Didn't work out that way. Both of them watched it, you know, walk right by them with, in season with guns in their hands. They just let it go. I never saw it. My only leucistic Rio Grande's a super rare? I don't even know what the leucistics look like. Are they like the Easterns? I've seen that in a lot of places. Well, with like the different variations of farm turkeys. You see it every spring. Like, somebody shoots what is a domestic farm turkey they got out, and it gets posted on social media and everybody's like amazed, and then there'll be someone there like, hey, that's a farm breed. We had one at our place. I don't know exactly what the deal was. It was like 85-90% white. Its fan was entirely white, except for it had like the tops of the fan feathers being black, and then it had some black feathers like across the body and stuff. And I think its beard was still black. I can't remember that, but it ended up turning out to be the case that it was somebody's farm turkey, but it had been wild for almost a year. So like, had I been able to call it in, I'd have shot it. Or shot at it. What's up, Joe? Got a 9-point doe and full body mounted it a few years ago. That's pretty neat. I've only ever seen one antler doe. And when I say antlers, I mean not taller than its ears. I was muzzleloader hunting and it came out at 10 yards. Like, it was right below me. I pulled the hammer back, I took the safety off, and then it turned and it was just kind of hanging out there for a minute. So I put the safety back on and I'm waiting, and I just thought, like, I don't know, it was the weirdest thing. I just went, let me take a closer look. So I zoomed the scope in the 9. I'm telling you this thing is within spitting distance. And I just look at its head and I see these tiny little antlers, and it was with a fawn. Like, I'm certain it was a female deer. Beyond just it being with a fawn. It was anatomically a female deer, and yet had little antlers, so I decided to pass it. Perfectly legal antlerless deer in PA, I just didn't want to shoot it. I miss PA so much, something I thought I'd never say, go Sheets. We eat at Sheets like once a week. Not at Sheets, we eat from Sheets like once a week. Is a 4-star adult even possible? I see one in front of me. Is it a moose on Nez Perce? They happen, but I think it's actually a bug. Because they don't all end up as 5-stars, sometimes they die. I think moose don't stay mature as long as they're supposed to. I think that's a mature moose. Like the gas station sheets? Yep. The gas station sheets that made their gas $1.77 6 on July 4th. And caused chaos. What's PA's laws about using 223? Because here in Arkansas you need a permit? Is it for the caliber, or is it for, like, you know, certain magazine restrictions or something? Because you can use a 223 bolt action or something here just fine. When it comes to deer hunting, you can use any centerfire caliber as long as it's not semi-automatic. I'm pretty sure there's no magazine restrictions, no like caliber restrictions, again, other than the centerfire thing. You just can't have a semi-auto for deer. You can for small game and turkeys and stuff, just not deer. Might as well shoot that guy while we're here. And then we'll go to our favorite spot. Just filled up on 489. Good lord, that's a lot. I think I paid 380 something last time I got gas. What's your current favorite great one? Like, as far as just great one concept and stuff? I think moose, but fallow are a close second. Oh, hi. A puppy delivery. Whoa. Don't lick my drink. Got an albino red fox today. Nice, man. That's the one rare red fox I've never gotten. I want one so bad. Waiting to hear her shadow bark today. She's looking out the window, so if anything whatsoever happens, not only will she bark, she will bark standing all of 3 feet from the mic. Diesel in Texas is 312. Am I crazy, or is that actually not that bad? In Michigan, you can't really use rifles, but you can use a 350. Is Michigan straight wall cartridges? I feel like I would know that. I don't know Michigan is one of those states that you need straight walls. You have a video for how to get better bucks for whitetail on Whale Hunter. No, I gotta get that video done. Hopefully I can get it before Tickamoon Plains, actually. I was gonna do a video on... I must still have... I had a big notes document of, like, everything I wanted to talk about. Because I was gonna go over genetics, what animals you should call, which animals you should leave, field judging those, especially as like youngs and stuff. Okay, didn't think we fell that far. There is more to it as well. There's something about... What else would it have been? I don't remember. It was all genetics based and stuff though, like what you're talking about, how to get bigger males. And then that update came out, and the screen jittering bug happened, and then I just put that video on the back burner. And then of course they fixed that right around the time Emerald Coast is happening, and unfortunately Emerald Coast is going to take precedence, so I still haven't made that video. Did you get the leucistic hog deer, the Rusa deer we were chasing? Yes, he was 80-something score, not very big. Do you not like Wave Hunter? I love Wave Hunter. Just did technically 2 videos on it this past weekend. We had the one just kind of taking a look at the Tickamoon Plains announcement / reveal trailer, and then we did an Aurora Shores hunt, in which we took the crossbow out. I wasn't targeting bison, but it became a bison hunt. I think we only killed 3, mostly because we were chasing a 5-star with it forever, and I won't spoil why that happened, but it was a little chaotic. Well, any other big 5 animals other than Cape Buffalo being Wave Hunter? Lions are big 5, are they not? What are the big 5? Lions, elephants, rhinos, Cape Buffalo, leopard? I think. So, no, it would just be the lions and the capes. Proud of myself for knowing leopard. You know why I know the big 5? Because I played African Safari to my heart's content when I was 12. Probably less than 12. Best shotgun I call the wild's obviously the 410. God, we were doing a Twitch stream and we were pheasant hunting. I still don't have a rare rooster pheasant. I want one. So we were doing a stream looking for one of them. And somebody switched my gun, because I have the channel point thing where you can switch a weapon that I'm using, from like I probably had the 16 gauge to the 410. And things were going for like a mile before they died. It was so bad. African Safari was a great game. It's still one of my all-time favorites. It falls into that same category as Dangerous Hunts 2009 for me. One of my absolute favorite hunting games ever made, but I'm afraid to play it now because I don't want it to ruin the nostalgia. We talked about that with Dangerous Hunts 09 though, and somebody said like they've played it recently and it didn't ruin it, so I might try to play it. Is it smart to get diamonds before grinding great ones? What you mean by that? Posted my Pie Diamond Croc in your Discord. You got a Piebald Diamond? That's awesome, man. I remember a Cabela's game in Africa where a lot of lions attacked a village. Would that have been like Ruins? Dangerous Hunts 2011? 2013? One of them two. In Call of the Wild, I feel like the lions are class 9 out of respect, because it's a lion, not really because they're that big. I mean, they are unbelievably tough, but this isn't where I'm trying to go. I do think, yeah, it's a little bit sort of what you're saying. A 30-06 or something would be capable for a lion, for sure. What's the best DLC for beginners? Honestly, in my opinion, probably the Modern Weapons Pack. It's like $4. It gives you access to the 308, the 223, and the 22. All are quite useful guns for you. The 223 maybe not so much, but it still can be, you know, it fires a little fast from the 243. Very similar in terms of damage and ballistics and stuff. But the 22 and the 308 are invaluable, especially early on. Favorite hunting celebrity? Yours is Jim Shockey. Jim Shockey's a good one. Probably Steve Ranella. Do I have another one that I'm overlooking? I used to love the Drury's. Like, that was who I got into, like, Whitetail TV. They had like 1997 or something, they had a VHS tape back in the good old days. It was Whitetail Madness. I can't tell you how many times I watched that. The thing about the Drury is if you live where I do, like in Pennsylvania, the type of bucks and the quality of bucks and stuff that they're hunting in the states like, where they go, Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, is going to be just so different. What do we hit that tree? That's why I like, you know, like Steve Ranella or guys in the hunting public and stuff, because they're shooting 110, 120 inch deer. And I think they're making that cool again, kind of. You ever watch Tim Wells? I don't watch much Tim Wells. I have met Tim Wells, and I think he's a really cool guy. Super nice as well, like, super, super nice. I believe TK is hunting with him right now. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Hopefully I was. Whoops. Pretty sure it's fine. The only thing about Dangerous Hunts, you couldn't replay the missions without replaying the entire game. Really? Yeah, I think you're right, because it was all story-based. I've seen some of what he does, like the spear hunting especially. I've seen him spear a grizzly. I've seen him spear a gensbuck. Like, I've watched some of his stuff, but I don't watch it much anymore. I don't know what it was. Something about that time in Africa where he like fell from the tree or whatever and the spear got him in the leg. There was just something about that where I just like was like, okay, that's enough for me. I didn't enjoy that. Flinter doing a Jaxy? Oh, it's a slip. I think it's, I'm pretty sure that's fine information to say. I don't think it's a secret. I didn't say what they're hunting. Absolutely love watching THP, so realistic outcome of buck size. Yeah, like, even if you're not necessarily a public lane hunter, unless you are, and like, let me make it clear, I'm not disparaging anybody that lives in the states where there's giant bucks. I wish I did too. But unless you are in like the Ohios, Missouris, Iowa, Illinois, it's not realistic to shoot a 150 every year. Which, you know, even if you watch Midwest Whitetail, which is where the hunting public came from, most of those guys, if they shoot a buck, it's probably like 140, 150 plus. I think it's realistic here to get a 110 or 120 every year if you really know what you're doing, especially like specifically on private land. On public, maybe not so much. If you're in the right areas, I think you can. But even to that degree, that's probably not an everyman thing. It has to be a spend a bunch of time doing it. I didn't realize this was a great sandbar lake too. Better for us than it was for Rusa. Yeah, we might as well shoot that big one. In southern Missouri, 150 is a really good deer. It depends on where in Missouri for sure. Missouri is a little bit different than like some of those other whitetail destination states I'm talking about. There's like, I think it's the northern part. I'm not going to even say it. I'm pretty sure the northern part, I guess I will say it. It borders Iowa or Illinois or something, doesn't it? If I'm wrong, I'm going to look so stupid. U.S. map with states. Please tell me I'm not wrong. I don't need to fail geography today. Okay, so the north, yeah, Iowa, Illinois, it borders both. I'm not stupid. That area definitely has some better deer than southern. If you ask Mitch Rumpola, Michigan has massive deer. Michigan does actually have a lot of big deer. Maybe just not 216 or whatever he claimed to shoot. What's up, Active Dragon? Just checking Black Bear Zones. How's your fallow grind going off stream? 6,100 kills and counting, man. I feel like, I don't even want to say this because I'm probably going to be wrong. I've thought it for a couple weeks, but I feel like we're getting close. I'm killing a bunch of diamonds. Like, they are everywhere. I just don't know where our great one is. Check out the Dryden buck. Massive but shot illegally. I've heard that name before. I might look that up real quick. I don't think I'm at all like a...
Well, you look like a pissant.
Thank you, Paul. I don't think I'm at all like a big buck historian, but I love to look into that stuff. Like, oh, I see. It reminds me of the cop buck. Like, he's got that crazy mass, almost palmation like a moose. Anyway, what I was trying to say was, I don't know the history behind like all the huge deer. Like, what's that, there's a channel for it. What if I look up, I'll find it. They are legendary whitetails. They have, you know, all these stories behind some of the most iconic whitetails ever shot. I'm nowhere near that, but I like to think I know a lot about, like, a lot of the historic bucks that were shot, and the Dryden one, like, I'd heard of, but I'll have to look into that one more. You like me when it comes to fallow then? I think I'm close, and it just turns out to be a level 2 or 3 pie. Man, I'm telling you what, I'm getting to the point that every time I see a piebald, I'm starting to get disgusted. Like, I see so many, I'm like, get out of here, or be a 5. I'm tired of these small pies. What's going on, Great White Ginger? Took a long break from your videos. Did you ever get the Great One Black Bear? I have not had a Great One since my red deer, actually, so no black bear, no moose. To this point, no fallow. There's a Rusa deer. How many 5-star whitetails you got? 4 or 5? Something like that. Seek 1's absolutely insane. They get on some monsters. The Goat, thanks for becoming a Shusty, by the way. Certainly appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. If you're not in the Discord, by the way, be sure to join that as well. Link up your YouTube, get the member roll, and enjoy the green name and emojis here in chat. Is there any 5-star you don't have in Wade Hunter? Almost everything on Transylvania. The only 5-stars I do have on Transylvania are red deer and golden jackal. I do have 2 5-star red deer, so there's that. On Nez Perce, red fox and lesser scalp might be it. How do you say that? Scalp? Scalp? I think it's scalp. And then Aurora Shores, I don't have Kodiak, also the lesser scalp because duh, and foxes are there too. What's the one I'm missing? Come on, I just had it in my head. The duck, the new duck. Surf Scotter. How many kills the fallow grind? 6,100. They should buff the 410 and add a single shot or pump 410. I'd love a little 410 shotgun. That'd be awesome. Could your Great One have spawned at another drink zone and just be chilling there? So I thought that was the case for a while, because I went nearly 1,000 kills with no diamonds showing up. So I did think, you know, like, maybe there's just one here and I gotta go and look. The nice thing with fallow is there's not that many places they can drink. I've checked everywhere, they're not there, and now, like I said, I'm getting so many diamonds, I don't think there's a Great One somewhere out there that's like, you know, I do think if there was a Great One on my map, I just wouldn't be seeing as many 5s. But I tend to check everywhere, every 500 to 1,000 kills, and by everywhere I mean like the 3 extra zones I don't already grind. How many diamonds in total? We're over 1,100 now. Most of the last 100 have been fallow. So this says 1,400 and this says 20 Great Ones. None of these stats are actually correct anymore, which is sad. The total harvest is. When they try to add the Great One counter back, when Bloodhounds got added, they screwed up, and golds are going into the diamond column, diamonds are going into the Great One column, and so on. The real diamond amount is 1,114. Your Great One looks ultra bad. I did the math. The last 3 grinds, none of which have produced a Great One yet. I'm not letting this fallow get away. I will get a fallow Great One, whether it likes it or not. It might take 12,000 kills. I don't care. It's gonna happen. 15,000 kills since our last Great One, as far as grind kills. 5,500 bears, 3,800 moose, 6,100 fallow. Are lodges and Wade Hunter map specific? Yes, they are. I had 1 super rare troll in the grind, and it was a guaranteed troll pie. Just gotta look at that as a big 4. When they're guaranteed trolls, it's just a big 4. How many whitetail drink zones should I have on Layton? I honestly don't have a clue. I don't do much zone counting or anything. I say I don't do much, I don't do any. Never have I had a clue. What do we got? 30 minutes? What the heck? Let's just do some Rusa drink time. Mel was telling me... Mel, where was that spot that you said was a Rusa hotspot if you're still here? We can go and check that out, and I'll give you credit for having the biggest of males. It was near a lookout or something. You've had more trolls than diamonds? Really? I have not had that kind of luck. Diamonds have been showing up. Opal Point Lake? Gotcha. Personal best bass? It was the one I caught down there in West Virginia last year. It was 4 pounds, 2 ounces. Such like a complete luck thing, too. I was using Will's brother's fishing rod because I didn't bring any fishing equipment with me. And I kept, like, I was just dragging this Senko worm along the bottom. And I kept feeling, like, for like 3 or 4 casts in a row, I'd feel like a little hit, but nothing would really happen. So I just kept on doing it. And then, finally, like, I don't know, the 6th or 7th cast, I felt it take it. And it was a big one. Where it says Opal Point right there. Alright, I don't know if I went to the right one, but we'll find it. Not there. I'll check here anyway, but Opal Point Lake, where it says... I don't see anywhere where it says Opal Point. Oh, this one? Oh, it must be because the lookout's there. Okay. We'll run down there in a minute. I know Fallow and Sambar and stuff drink here. Speaking of Sambar. No Rusa here. Well, that makes it easy. Which way's the wind? Wind is going north, so it actually wouldn't be terrible to approach from here. You know if axis deer are in a specific area on EC? They're pretty all over the place, to be honest. I don't know that there's one specific spot. Do you like Cabela's Legendary Adventures? I love that game. That one was one of my favorites playing. I didn't necessarily care for how they got the legendary animals to show up. Like, it was just some kind of almost shooting gallery hunting and then the legendary stories, but the stories themselves and stuff, I'm really glad they had, like, the actual stories told in that. I'll be annoyed if I look for a fallow or for fallow zones on Hirsch and EC and there's a great one. There could be. From South Africa and hunting this weekend. Nice, man. What you going after? Do you want more aggressive behavior for animals like bears, or do you like the way it currently is in Call of the Wild? I think more aggression would be okay. Like, here's the problem, because what I was going to say was bears should sort of do a posturing, sort of like what they do in Classic, actually. Like, not just, you know, barrel towards you from 50 meters away. They should probably, like, stand on their hind legs, maybe roar at you, maybe chomp their teeth. What's that called? Jaw clicking or something the bears do. But the problem is, if you implement that into Call of the Wild, that then just makes those aggressive bears really easy to shoot. How do I link my YouTube and Discord? If you go to the info channel in my server there, it's like up towards the top. There's step-by-step instructions of what to do. Jawing? Maybe that's all it is. Jaw popping? Popping its jaw? That might be it too. Will the hunter need to do something like Great Ones, maybe a 6-star, but make it very rare? I don't know if that's the best move. Because the thing about adding a Great One, unless they were to do it for all species, suddenly, like, the only thing that anybody's hunting for is the species that can be Great Ones. I think they'd be best off not doing that. At least not yet. They're still early enough on, like, there's plenty... What are we shooting, that tree over and over? There's plenty of 5-stars people still don't even have one of. What's up, Lunar? Real OGs played Deer Hunter Classic Mobile? I used to play it. Back in the good old days. There's another okay one. Probably a silver and also running, so we're going to let him. Where are we? Good to know this is apparently decent for Rusa as well. Not gonna lie, I don't know if this Bantang Super Rare is happening anytime soon. I mean, if you did know that a Bantang Super Rare is happening sometime soon, that probably would kill the point. Not typical whitetail beagle on Way the Hunter? See, that could be. Because imagine, because of the aging system and how, like, their antlers can change and stuff, you could have non-typicals in several different ways. You could have it where, you know, from the time they're very young, they start to grow some abnormals, and then, like, you see that and let them go and they can become a big male non-typical. Or you could have, like, the whole theory of, like, injuries causing them to be non-typical. Maybe just as they age, they start to show some abnormals and stuff. There's a lot of, like, ways the deer become non-typicals in real life, which they could then implement into Way the Hunter in different ways. More aggressive animals than Way the Hunter? Here's the thing with aggression in Way the Hunter. I do think it can make things more interesting. And I do think, at least in certain scenarios, we probably should see aggression. The aspect of the genetics and aging and stuff. If you're, let's say if you feel forced to shoot a bear that's attacking you, and it turns out to be 100% 1-star young, you'll just be like, why did that have to attack me? Why did that have to happen? So I don't know how that would be best, like, accomplished. Unless you just gotta take that risk. Literally the biggest males of all time out here. How many kills into the moose grind? 3,800 is where we left off. Buck fighting be a cool feature? Yeah, what's tough to do with, like, deer sparring in general in hunting games is the animations are probably bound to cause a bunch of clipping. Antlers clipping through, or let's say tines clipping through other tines, maybe heads clipping through tines, stuff like that. If you make the animations somewhat, like, fast-paced, most of that stuff wouldn't be that visible. Sidearm of bear spray? Maybe that is an option. Imagine, like, they make badgers go aggressive and you gotta spray them with bear spray. One day I'll remember where my gun is. Red Dead Redemption has whitetail and moose sparring and it looks great. They do? I don't think I've ever seen it. But the thing about remember with theirs too, they do have set antlers. Like, they don't have Truax or whatever. So the animations, I don't know if they are, but they could be very especially crafted to not cause very much clipping. With Truax and just the amount of different variations for antlers. You couldn't really do that in Call of the Wild, really, or Way the Hunter. You make a living off streaming. Streaming and YouTube videos, content creation as a whole is my job and has been for like 5 years. Do you open the bananas from the top to the bottom? I bite in through the side first. What do you mean from the top to the bottom? The stem part. Couple of okay ones. I'm hoping to see like 1,000. Okay, I'm seeing what Mel was talking about. There do be a few here. Oh, there's a big male. 40 to 64. Good lord. Just started my whitetail grind. Any tips? I haven't grinded whitetail in a long time, but the biggest thing I would say is find all your zones, set up tents at those zones, and I would probably say just like generally be willing to adapt your setup. Like, especially when you start a grind. The first 300 kills or so, especially, I would even say up to like a couple thousand, but the first 300 seem to cause the most movement. So if you've got bucks that are suddenly leaving your spots, you're probably going to go and find new spots again. By the way, we just shot that very small one. I know we couldn't see what we were doing. Bottom's the way you're supposed to open them? Is the bottom where the stem is? Because if not, I don't care how you're supposed to open them. I'm opening them like a big male. Can you have two grinds on the same map like Red Deer and Fallow and Aotearoa? That should be perfectly fine. Why would you be supposed to open them from the bottom? I don't get it. They grow upside down. But what is the reasoning for opening them from the bottom? Unless you're going to tell me that somehow they taste better. That's like opening a Ziploc bag through the bottom. If the part that makes it easy to open is at the top, I'm using the top. None of the stringy things? I eat the stringy things. What do you mean? I don't know what's going on. You wouldn't have enough tents to do 2 grinds on the same map? Yeah, probably not as efficiently as possible, you're probably right. Bananas were made to be open from the bottom. I think they were made to be open from the top. There's a Hall of Shamer. We're learning a lot about you today. I think we're learning a lot about you today. Judging how I open bananas. Seems kind of judgmental. That's far. Let's go up by this lake. Through there to the next one. Squeeze the bottom, it splits, then pull. Or just like grab the stem and pull it. I don't understand. There's a more convenient way. I don't get this. Help. And you can't talk about being judgmental just because I don't want you to ever get a super rare Bantang because you made me use open sights. Does not mean. Maybe it does mean. Got a 3rd diamond Bantang level 4 there, 2 common. Yeah, they probably should change their scoring. Maybe just make the diamond requirement higher. 140, 142. I'm need to send you a tutorial? No. I need to send you a tutorial. I will... Huh. I haven't seen a level 1 Axis Deer in a while. I will send a personalized video teaching you the right way. Northwest section of the river is as good as the Lake Mel was talking about. I figured it probably must have been because that's where we were seeing the leucistic and stuff. We could do that. I kind of want to check these areas, mostly because we haven't gone here much. Make a video on it. Hello everyone, this is 18033, and today we're going to open a banana. Found a minimum weight 32 to 75 male feral hog. I think the minimum score is 7. So if you end up shooting that, that's the score you want to look for. Yeah, maybe that goes on a different site, Bottom Boy. I agree with Flute Boy for this whole banana predicament. It's because I'm right. Billy's here. What is going on there? You guys see that? It's like he's got a stick growing out of his ear. We're going to tax that just for the sake of it and see if it ends up staying there. I just eat the banana with the peel, be a man. I know some people eat the apple with the core. The feathered axis deer. It's like a T-Rex. Be sick if it stayed. Remember the one mule deer rack that would do stuff like that? But I don't think that was antler. Aren't blacktail a subspecies of mule deer? It might be the other way around, but either way, they're very closely related. I don't know technically which one is the subspecies of the other. Dude's got a fern on his ear. I just want you to know, Aaron, that I understood that quote. What was that about, a 380 elk or something? I've got 2 Troll 5s that did the blue light glitch thing. Oh yeah, where it just sent a laser off to space. But I did it in the lodge too. Like the great one, red deer. Whoops, I missed the link. What's up, Gun Hub? Anybody figured out why the hot air balloon is on Emerald Coast? Was it not in the missions? I just kind of assumed it was. Glad you get it. I specialize in niche DD references. I wish I could remember what he said. It was something like, I shot a 380 elk, well, my dad has. It was a really odd sentence. How's the red deer have 2 racks? I think it's 3, but even still. As much as, like, I think of the whitetail as being the one that's lacking variation, it's really the red deer. The whitetail has more variation than red deer. It's just red deer are special first. They feel more specialer. Oh god. Sorry to hear about that, Tyler. Also, I think I saw peeps in the balloon. There's 2 really low poly people models in there, yeah. Started on a moose grind the other day and got trolled by a 5, but a shot a guaranteed diamond 4. That's moose hunting in a nutshell. 4s make it not as often as 5s, but you'll get plenty of diamond 4s and plenty of troll 5s. Oh, what is your least favorite great one? It might be red deer, which sucks. Because I think the black bear are, no pun intended, great. And then the moose and fallow, they've done a perfect job of like really making great ones what they should be and should have always been from the beginning. Quattro's popping for red deer. I always enjoyed doing the Quattro grind back when a lot of people were doing Tay, and that was Tay at night. The fact that red deer drink in the daytime on Tay now is probably better than Quattro, but Quattro is still quite good. What great one do you recommend grinding? I mean, Fallow's a good grind. I've gone 6,000 kills and haven't gotten one, so there's that, but for the most part, people get them way sooner than that. How long's the stream been going? An hour and 47 minutes. Got like 13 minutes left. If they ever do a great one line, it'd be cool if it looked like a... Is that Barbary lion? Like a giant 300-pound lion? The lions we have in game currently are like 600 pounds. So I'm missing something there. How did Mississippi come out 2 years ago? That doesn't even make sense. There hasn't been that much time. It is coming up on 2 years. Time absolutely flies. So far in Emerald Coast, I've shot 5 trolls and no diamonds. Emerald Trolls doing its thing. What's up, CBG? Things are going pretty good. We did kill a little leucistic Rusa today. We're just running around in Rusa drink time, trying to find big males. Trying. Yeah, Fallow's by far the easiest great one to set up, for sure. Independent of what, you know, the grind itself may entail, the setup is quite easy. What's going on, Roman? The only really significant thing that's happened today is we shot a silver leucistic Rusa deer. We've shot, you know, quite a few things. A lot of hog deer, Rusa deer. Might be about it, actually. That's the main 2 species. Other than that little leucistic, though, nothing super special. What's your super early new map prediction? I mean, what I'm hoping for is Greenland. I don't know if that counts as a prediction, but I guess I'll go with that since that's what I'm just hoping they do. There's like a documentary or something on them hatches, and I remember Joe Rogan talked about it on his podcast, and I can't find it. But I know what you're talking about. I found an almost guaranteed diamond root was one of the first things I saw on EC, and it trolled. You can't trust these estimates, that's for sure. Yeah, Billy, if you go into the Call of the Wild chat and then do !COTW perks, that brings up a, I think an Gurr link with all the different photos of like the skills and perks in the different trees. What animals are in Greenland? The main thing I want is muskox. But there's also caribou. I don't know if it's a perfect fit, but I think it'd be pretty reasonable to do snowshoe hare, Arctic fox, maybe Arctic wolves. There should be some type of ptarmigan that lives there. I think there's probably some others if I really thought about it, but those are the ones that I know offhand. You've been playing this for years, how are you not tired of it by now? Generally, like most games that I play, I take a very like goal-oriented approach. So, I'm typically looking to get like all the diamonds in the game. At the moment, we're missing 4. So, things like that keep me coming back. The additions are the great ones, like that's always something to try to strive for. And then even, like let's say because there's been different points in the game's life where I've had this, where I've got all of the available great ones in the game and I've killed one of every diamond. There's still like some cool rares I'd love to get, or just that opportunity to, you know, maybe run into a super rare or something. I think it's the unknown around every corner that keeps me coming back. all that way, and I don't think there's a single Rusa deer here. Nice. Alright, let's, we're barely gonna get there. Why don't we just chase Bantang for a little bit? See if we can get a couple. Could probably throw a capercaillie on there, maybe. Biggest red deer diamond, just a high 267. I've never killed any super big red deer. Got a half minimum weight croc? What is half minimum weight? Oh, I think I might understand what you're saying. I mean, was it like a level 2? Hey, thank you, Illusion. I really appreciate that. Alright, we're just gonna make it, like midday. Drink time for scrub hairs. I don't think they drink anymore. They're sober. Alright, somewhere down here we ought to be able to find some. We've shot a lot of Bantangs, so maybe there's a big male respawn. I figure better that than spending most of the remaining 9 minutes running to the place that we were going to go. 6100 Eli. So you replied to my comment on a... Wait, so you replied on my comment that a tree stand would have saved you the embarrassment? Oh, yeah, yeah. Do you think they're going to add them? I don't know, I hope so. We know they're doing compound bows, and, like, the premise of Way the Hunter, with zones, and with defined trails that animals walk to get to those zones, probably more so than any other hunting game, makes perfect sense to add tree stands, so I hope so. Any of you fellas like a huge male? Not so much? Alright, well, let's get one of these broadside lads. I think that's the bigger one. That's kind of out there. Should work. That said, he's still not dying. Now he is. Just really taking his time. And I mean, I guess we'll try to get that one too. Greetings from Germany. What's going on? Thanks for stopping into the stream. I really appreciate it. That guy's going aggressive. I killed 3 gold-scoring pieballs in 1 run. Dang, Fallow deer? Why does it cost $1,200 for him to sleep? Mine only costs $250. So it goes up, like, kind of incrementally. I think it's $250, and then maybe, I think it goes as low as $188. Then $250, then $500, then, I don't even know, $750, $1,000, $1,200, so on. All the way up to $2,500. That's the highest it'll ever cost. If you're resting often, it costs more. And because I've done like a bunch of fallow deer grinding, I have been resting often, therefore the cost for me to rest is higher. It'll go down. Why did they change the range estimate to not change as it moves? I have no idea. I'm assuming that's unintentional. I hope. It's like 50% as useful now. So I really hope they change it back. One of these days, one of these guys will respawn as a bigot. Hoping for Asia or Greenland next? I think Asia could be cool. If it's Marco Polo sheep land in Asia, I'm all over it. Why don't Americans use metric? I mean, I don't necessarily know the answer to that. The reason I don't use metric is like, I was raised on the imperial system, so when I look at something, just immediately, by nature, I think in terms of how many feet or yards away it is, instead of meters, whatever, the centimeters? I don't know if that necessarily makes perfect sense as a direct comparison, but close enough. It's just, for whatever reason, that's just the way it is here. Like, you're taught in school first. Feet, inches, miles, yards. What's up, Michelin Man? Oh, you did miss a little leucistic Rusa deer. 80-something score. We're going to go back and put him in the lodge in just a moment. I will say, not the most challenging animals to hunt. But in game you use metric. I use Imperial and Way the Hunter. The reason I specifically use metric in Call of the Wild is because in Classic, there's no option. You have to use metric. A lot of the weights in Call of the Wild are the same as Classic. So for instance, like a max weight Whitetail Hunter Classic is 100 kilo. A max weight, I don't know, what's another example? A max weight Black Bear in Hunter Classic is 290 kilo. Same numbers in Call of the Wild. So rather than having to relearn, you know, what the max weights are for all these species in pounds, I just stuck with metric because I already knew all those, you know, estimate ranges and stuff from playing Classic. We do use the metric system for bullets. Some bullets, not all bullets. Which makes it even more interesting. Mongolia would be a good place for a new map. I only know anything about Mongolia from the show alone, but I do think that would make a good map. I like the metric for zeroing, and because I would use the metric system in the military at the rifle range. Yeah, the zeroing is nice too, because instead of, you know, 75, 300, 150, you get like, what is it, 68? No. I might have that backwards. Why don't I just look and see what it is? That'd be easier. Oh, God, that scared me. 82, 328, and 164? That scared me so. That was worse than a T-Rex thing. What's she even barking at? I don't even know why she did that. Jeez. Barfs. I could have. You never know when you get scared too bad. Oh, just a couple of minutes. Let's jump down here. There's Bantang here, too. There's the bark. She was like, oh, stream's over in 3 minutes. I gotta do it. I bought Way the Hunter and the Aurora Shores DLC, and it won't let me switch reserves. Is there a certain level I have to reach? Have you done the tutorial up to the point that you've shot the whitetail or mule deer for that mission? You have to complete the tutorial before you can switch. Do you recommend backpacks? I very strongly oppose the use of backpacks. They are, for whatever reason, super noisy in this game. They'll spook things from nearly twice as far away as when you're not wearing a backpack. Unless you're just setting up your map, maybe moving tents and tripods and stuff around, I would never ever wear a backpack. They're actually not even bugged, Riley. They designed them that way. Why? I don't know. I guess as a balancing act, but like I wear a backpack when I'm hunting in real life. I don't spook animals twice as far away. You by yourself there, fella? I guess so. Oh, God, why? Why are you guys doing this to me? I don't know who done it, but they know who they are. And Shadow's just laying on the floor chewing her bone like, I did nothing. Alright, I say we grab this guy and go back to the lodge with our little Rusa deer. Gonna be a second lodge edition. What was that? That is the Jurassic Park T-Rex sound from my Twitch. And I don't know why, but my OBS plays my Twitch alerts even though I'm logged in via YouTube. I'm on a YouTube scene. Like, there is nothing in my OBS that should make that play, and it still does. I don't understand it. You got me hooked on Farming Sim again? I am not taking accountability for any amount of time you may put into Farming Sim, but it is very fun. I do not blame you. Take this be. Actually, that's a big black, isn't it? Is it? No. Wait. Wrong one. That's better. They look good. I haven't put one on the wall yet. This is the first time I've done it. I like it. I need like 12 diamond Rusa for the main lodge. Really solid shoulder mounts. Not too bad. And what the heck, we'll run to the Hall of Shame real quick and place our couple of small males. Took long enough? Does that mean it was you, Hatcha? Is that what you're implying here? We also shot some other small males recently, but I kinda can't specifically remember what they were. Oh, I don't know if we had any... Is this the piebald? Oh yeah. So there's that. He definitely needs to be in a prominent position. Do we have any super... not super rare. Hall of Shame... Hall of Shame geese, I guess. That's even a rare. An axis deer should fit on these small plaques. Not that there's any in here. Huge. And Rusa deer can go somewhere. By the way, this doesn't show the same anymore, but this guy used to score exactly 12. Which is kind of, you know what that means? In 10 days, it'll be like the 4-year anniversary of 12 becoming a major staple on this channel. Anyway. Rusa deer, where's it going to go? Somewhere else. I'm going to diamond Sambar max track? Nice. Look at these tinies everywhere. Right there. Beautiful. Alright, well we didn't get a diamond hog deer or Rusa deer today, but we did get a little leucistic, so that's always good. And now we know about the part of that river to actually go and check. We definitely need to go there, probably both in our single player and the multiplayer servers. But on that note, I think that's going to do it for this stream. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the support. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. We're doing a little bit of a beginner's guide to competitions in the Hunter Classic. Bye!